Vladimir Putin has a thing for embarking on adventures. We have seen him take a dip in freezing water, enter a cage with Persian leopards cuddling leopards, and embarking to Crimea on a submarine. So, when Biden started to irk him over Ukraine, we knew for sure that Putin will not stay silent, and he hasn't. He has breached America's Atlantic Wall and is making Russian presence felt in the US's strategic backyard of the Caribbean and Central America. Hi and welcome. You are watching TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Sanveer, and in this video, I will tell you why Putin's response to Biden's Ukraine hoax is pretty badass. Let's begin. Putin has had enough of Biden's tantrums in Ukraine. Moscow was continuously demanding that the US-led NATO does not expand its presence to Ukraine. It also wanted NATO forces deployed in Eastern Europe to be withdrawn. But the US remained non-committal, and Biden seemed to be in the mood to bully Kremlin. So, Putin has decided that he will take the conflict into America's backyard. Countries like Nicaragua, Cuba, and Venezuela. As the Biden administration keeps eluding Russian demands on the Ukraine front, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has declared that his country has agreed with the leaders of Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua to develop partnerships in a range of areas, including stepping up military collaboration. This is Russia's indirect response to American bullying tactics on the Ukraine front. Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov even made a link between the two happenings. He said that Russian strategy in South America could potentially involve the introduction of the Russian Navy if the US continues in its needless provocations on Russia. Ryabkov said that this is Russia's version of the American style of having several options for its foreign and military policy. Russia's entry into the Americas initiates new geopolitical realities. Till now, the US was satisfied with its position. It believed that it could do anything in Eastern Europe, a region considered to be in Russia's sphere of influence. The US could carry out military drills, deploy NATO troops in the region, and challenge Russian centrality in the region without any backlash. An entire Atlantic wall stood between Moscow and Washington, D.C. The US believed that it was beyond the Atlantic and inaccessible from Russia's point of view. If anyone had to suffer because of a Russian response, it was Europe, whereas the US was more or less a safe territory. This was only reaffirmed by the Soviet collapse, as the erstwhile blue water Soviet Navy turned into a green water Russian Navy. This made the Russian military incapable of embarking on expeditionary missions, though Putin has been trying to build a blue water Navy for quite some time now. But the wall has now been broken with Russia's move into the Americas, creating a new security scenario. Moscow is expanding its options, which means the US is no longer safe in the event of any escalation in military tensions. And this is why you suddenly find Russians talking about the potential involvement of the Russian Navy in South America. Moscow understands that if Ukraine is an issue for the US to exploit, then Central America is for Russia to pounce upon. If the US weaves the narrative of protecting Ukraine from Russian aggression in Eastern Europe, Russia won't shy away from a similar narrative in Central America. We know how Nicaragua isn't very fond of the United States. Recently, the country even broke off its diplomatic ties with the island nation of Taiwan and resumed diplomatic relations with mainland China. We all know the US-Cuba history meanwhile, and we also remember the Cuban Missile Crisis. And when it comes to Venezuela, the South American country has been at odds with the United States for quite some time now. And there is a common link that connects all these countries. They have embraced China in the backdrop of deteriorating ties with the United States. This is also why a lot of Xi Putin bonhomie was at display during the Russian president's recent visit to China. Moscow is actually using Beijing as a tool to expand its influence in the Americas. This is a fatal blow to Biden's fear-mongering rhetoric of the Ukraine hoax. And the impending events are invariably going to be a strategic nightmare for the American security establishment.